You're listening to the Next Play Podcast, a podcast for personal development, high achievers, and anyone not wanting to settle for average. We break down mindset, strategy, and unpopular truths behind next level growth. I'm your host, Justin Pates, joined by my co-host, Parker McGee. Let's get into it. Charles.
Yeah, let's introduce me. I want to say something to my mom. You know, I always thought I was going to make it on a podcast, so I want to shout out her.
So to introduce you properly, this is Charlie Henson, Indy sales rep, previous Fort Wayne rep. Last year, what was the new employee of the year?
No, newcomer of the year. That's what I was.
Get it right, Justin.
Well, we're glad to have you, man. Today, we're talking about how your identity will outperform your strategy. So, ultimately, you're a big guy on, kind of the decisions you make, right? Like you have strong opinions, especially about health, right? So I felt like this would be a good episode to have you on. So I guess, how do identity and mindset shape your decision making?
That's a good question. And when you say identity, is that just, how you hold yourself or?
Yeah, because ultimately, the kind of person you are will shape the decisions that you make.
I think it's a good quote that you kind of have saved for me in there. It's not crazy to expect perfection from everything that you do. So, that is holding yourself to, of course, a higher standard. So you could always think about that, and that does shape your decision making. If you always hold yourself to the best you can be and the highest you are, then when you go out on a Friday or want to, slip up and not have that discipline, you can kind of go back to that and say, well, this isn't the higher form of myself.
Is it even a decision if it's your identity?
And that's a good question. Your reputation will pretty much perceive you no matter what, if that kind of spins off on that. That's a good question. I don't know what the fuck.
I feel like you make your decisions based on the identity you hold yourself to. So they kind of play hand in hand. But I think, if you were, looking for a new identity, right? Start making new decisions. But you make your decisions basically on the identity that you hold yourself to. Right? I was just talking about it before we started filming, but it's like a principle of it's one thing to say, I box, right? It's something that I do, but if I embody it, I'm a boxer, it's what I do instead of, I sell. No, I'm a salesman. I do this. I operate a bit no, I'm a business owner, right? And I think if you have that higher, vision of who you are as a person, it'll ultimately bleed into the decisions that you make.
When I started this, I don't know, 2 years ago, it was, didn't have any routine in motion. So before even getting this job, I deleted all the social media, got rid of the useless scrolling, and started working out in the morning. And then it helped me, kind of do this and have a lifestyle of, when I started, it was I don't scroll. I do work out and all this, and it just helped me.
Chop that up.
The hockey way.
The hockey way.
Make a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Do you feel like changing those kind of decisions helped you, embody the kind of person you're trying to become?
Discipline creates freedom. Yes. All that time I did not want to wake up. I wanted to scroll. I didn't want to ask this girl's, business for the 5th time. It got me to go to Colorado or Maine after I was done, with that full year. So definitely, discipline does create freedom and would not be anything without it.
You talked about your routine. That's always kind of a big chain of decisions.
Mm-hmm.
some people really take agency in their, you know, in their routine. Like
Their habits.
Yeah, what's the importance of that, especially like when it comes to like your identity?
You know his name. You love him. Earn your views, guy.
Dan Martell.
So Dan Martell read the book.
Wrote
Something
or read?
Habit. Or no, he
Atomic Habits.
yeah, he didn't write it. Apologize. He heavily recommends it. And in that book, it says rich people and poor people have the same goals. They all want to get rich. They all want to have that big boat with girls on it, you know, what have you. But their habits are different.
Yeah.
So, yes, like creatures of habit, I don't know, the routine is what makes it. Your goals, yes, you know, it's nice seeing where you're going or knowing, you know, where to head if stuff gets wrong or what you're even doing this for, but it's the habits.
I think in the same book, there's 2 habit books, but in the same book, says if you do something twice, right? If you continue this chain of, you know, good decisions and, you know, say you don't wake up for your workouts 2 times in a row or whatever it is, then it's the start of a new habit. So I feel like to kind of fall back on the question that you asked, I think ultimately, you know, decisions create your identity, but your identity influences your decisions. But it takes, you know, only a couple decisions to kind of even rewrite your identity.
Because your body or your mind is always trying to find that comfort, always rerouting it back to comfort.
So, like, you know, if you have a track record of being this one kind of person, like you can, kind of like you said, Charlie, like your reputation, like even just ruin that with even 2 bad decisions, because now you're that type of person to make those decisions. Like that's your identity.
You can also change it with 2 good ones though too, right?
That's so true. Like before we even sat down, you said, man, we're kind of shitting the bed this month already for sales. But it's like, yeah, that's what we're thinking about for this month. But, you know, we do have 2 weeks and watch it change. Be like, wow, this was one of the best months we've ever had. So it's like the 2 good ones outweigh, you know, the 1 bad one type thing.
Do you feel 3 really good weeks coming from us, Charles?
Yeah, I do.
Flipping it a little off topic, what do people have to do? What do we have to do to get back on track?
I think go back to the basics. Get excited for the little stuff again. People get too comfortable. They think about, oh, I had a good month last month. Or I did this last month, like you said, to have it. Go back to the basics. When stuff gets hard, I always say, like, all right, I know nothing. Like, I got to be the dumbest one in the room. I just want to learn. I want to call, you know, JP. I want to call a rep. That's always good. It's just starting every month fresh.
I feel like when we're our best is when our identity is just that young, playful, like happy, fun group to be around.
It's true. It's harder to do that, though, when you get, you know, deeper into the season and people are like, oh, you know, then my client's calling me and saying this happened or this happened.
I was thinking about it the other day, like we are very deep into the season. However, if we look at it from the backside, it's like the season's almost over.
Mm-hmm. It's
so
sad.
It's like, that's, you know, we got to think about it from that point too. You know, we have really August, September, October, November. You know, we got 4 months. We've already been pretty heavily at it. So we can look at it from like a holy shit. We've been in this or been at this a long time, or we only have a little bit of time left. And I think the excitement comes when we say, hey, we only have a little bit of time left.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Well, and also like the world belongs to those who can show up once the excitement of showing up goes away.
Ain't that
You know what
true?
I mean? Well, so like again, like, you know, it's easy to like when you first start something new, like you're like in a higher level, your identity has kind of taken a shift. So you act different, like you have better habits to start out, and then you get comfortable, and then, you know, it's important to have those resets, kind of like you were saying, right? To just like, you know, back to the basics. Because then, you know, you can have that open mind that, you know, would revisit those good habits.
And it's a huge play in discipline as well. I mean, there's only so much you can do, like on the weekend, work hard and play hard. But when Monday comes around, like you gotta wake up and you gotta go through the 5 objections and maybe even slip in a 6th one. And then pack up your stuff, take your notes, and then, you know, you're 30 minutes late to the next one and it's your second one of the day on a Monday. But like, I don't know, it's definitely discipline is like the thing that I'd come back to.
It's been like the same thing we've talked about, like discipline, process, identity. I feel like all three are pretty paired up. Like if you can control, you know, even a couple of those 3 things, you know, more times than not, like all 3 will evolve kind of together.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of like those 3, and I feel like there's even some more principles that are, you know, super evergreen. You know, you can apply them to basically anything and they'll ring true because, like you said, it's just back to the basics. Like at a basic level, I mean, they can be applied to basically anything and, you know, have them ring true.
And when y'all say identity, like what are you guys really truly meaning? Like identity meaning like how you hold yourself, mindset, because it says how do identity and mindset shape decision making.
When I think about identity, it just thinks about the expectation that comes with a person, right? Like there's an expectation on everyone, right? Like there's an expectation on you, there's an expectation on Justin, you know, Sean, Brock, Braden. Like you know what you're going to get out of that person, whether it be you're hanging out with them at work, you know, you ask them if they can do something. There's an expectation, Charlie, that if I ask you to help me, you might not help me.
You say that for real?
I say that for real.
I always help.
However, if I need something and I ask JP, if you need something and you ask JP, what do you think JP is going to do?
He'll do it.
Do it every time. Same thing with Sean, right? So I think building, like knowing that, you know, and I need to get better at that too with like stuff even, you know, I say to Bree, right? Sometimes there's stuff, I'll be like, hey, she wants to go on a walk. And I'll be like, yeah, I'll go on a walk. And then I don't go on a walk, right? Like even something like small habits like that, like you can build an identity to just be like, I am that guy that these people can rely on, right? I am that person that she can rely on, that when she asks me to do it, like I'll just do it. Not because I want to, but because that's, you know, my identity of a human is like, I'm just going to do it for somebody else. So, and I think building or doing those, and like if you want to truly change some of those things, like, you know, just saying yes.
Well, again, it's like a track record of your decisions
that
you've made, right? That not only you can see, but other people can. You know, it's a crazy thing. I was literally just looking back during football. There was a big, you know, personal development.
Football in high school?
Yes, and I was looking.
But he's still in the.
No, I was looking through my notes, right? Because I was clearing out space, and it was talking about identity, and you know, it actually brings up that you have a few identities, like obviously like who you are in someone else's opinion, who you're expected to be, who you were, who you wish to be, who you think you are, and who you really are. Which is a pretty crazy, because like, you know, there's a level that you hold yourself to. There's a level that other people see you at due to your actions, right? Like you see yourself through your own thoughts. Like people see you, obviously, like even if you don't know me as a person, like there's an identity you hold me to just off the bat. It starts with the small things and just do them every day. Like ties to even like leadership. Like a leadership position won't give you courage, but courage will make you a leader. And I think, again, it does tie just back to like the decisions you make. And I think that's really what your identity is. Like even confidence. Confidence is from a previous track record of doing the right things, right? And knowing that you can handle certain
Doing
situations.
stuff that you didn't think you could do
Mm-hmm.
brings you confidence, yeah.
What are your last thoughts on this, man? We're getting to the end of the episode. You only have so much time to get your message out to the viewers.
Oh, shout out to my mom before I forget. Yeah, I just saw this one. Can your beliefs limit your potential? I mean, before I say my 2 cents, what do you think?
You have to know that, like, it's gotten to the point now, too. I think it was when we were with that guy the other day, Chris, at the apartment complex, and I was, like, telling him, and I almost said, like, my dream car is, and instead I'm at the point now where, like, we've just won so much that, like, whatever I want, like, I just know I'm going to get. Like, and it's a legitimate thing. Like, it's not even like a dream at this point. It's just like do I actually want to put in the effort required to get it? And it's the same thing for anyone. Same thing with you. Like, if you actually, like, want to go somewhere, if JP actually wants to go somewhere, if Colton, Tim, like, if Tim wants to be the most viral video editor on the surface of the planet, like, he could probably do it. It's just a matter of if he wants to give up his family, all the free time he's ever had, etc., to invest 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Like, anything is achievable. It's just a matter of, like, how hard you want to believe, like, in achieving that.
I agree with that.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, a little bit. It was something I saw when I was doom scrolling. This girl named Imani on the Brain. She said, no matter how much skill you have or potential or smart intelligence you have, believing in yourself is, like, one of the biggest things you could do. So, like you said, you want this, but you already know that you can get it. Like, you believe in it. How was it before starting AE? Getting knuckleheads like me to work for you and just saying, like, how am I even going to make this make sense? Like, what was your belief system then?
What do you mean by that?
Like, were you just like, I have Charlie in Fort Wayne, like, how am I going to, or was it just like, I have this guy.
There's never been been
platform.
a time that I've hired somebody that I didn't know that they were going to work. Right off the rip, there's been times where I've hired people that I didn't know if they were going to work. But typically it wasn't like, if I give you my word that I'm like, and I told you sitting in the office the first day, I'm like, I will show you how to make a lot of money. Like, there's people that when you sit down, like, we have a belief, right? Like, and I knew from sitting with you, meeting with you, like, and knowing that you were a believer hard enough too, because I know how you are, like, we knew it was going to work. Might have taken more time. The road might not have been smoothly paved, but we knew we were going to get there, Charles.
Definitely did. Definitely glad that
we ain't there yet.
Took a shot on the dark for me. But yeah, I would rather the bumpy road any day, honestly. If it was smooth, who knows, I'd probably be, doing whatever Charlie does. But yeah, I remember.
That's an awesome identity to hold yourself to.
Yeah.
I
remember you were saying just like how you choose a lot of these people too is like, would I buy something from you? And looks like you would buy something from me. But yeah.
JP, last thoughts?
There was something that I wanted to share because it was a big thing. Say your there's such a thing as putting your identity in the wrong thing. Okay? Like, this is a very big last final thought that I have. It's bad to put your identity into the wrong thing because ultimately, anything outside of yourself is finite, right? Like you said, self-belief is pretty big. So anything outside of yourself is pretty finite. So instead of like labeling yourself as like, oh, I'm a really good business owner, or like I'm a really good, just business owner, right? Instead, because like ultimately like stuff like that is finite, like it can be taken away from you, but always find agency in yourself instead of, anything external. Because instead of a business owner, it's like, no, I'm good at, guiding people. I'm a good leader. I'm a good decision maker, right? And hold on to like those things as your identity, because ultimately like stuff like that can be taken away from you. So I think it's important to find identity within yourself and attributes instead of titles. And that will reap way better benefits than taking agency in something that is finite. Does that make sense?
One of the biggest ones I always look for is just winners.
Yeah.
Like just winners, like people that have won, like, you know, Bryce Barnes, you talk, like he'll tell you even stuff. You know, I've heard other high division 1 athletes say the same thing. I've heard Braden mention it, you know, by a couple of his buddies. And it's like some of those guys, like they'll literally tell you, it's just like anything I've ever wanted in my life, I've just like gotten. Like I just got because I wanted it. And like typically those are the people that just like always find a way to win no matter what.
Mm-hmm. And again, like even that, I'm not an athlete, I just win.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a business owner, I'm good at making decisions. Like whatever it is, you know, find that identity in yourself instead of something external. I think that was what I wanted to share.
Chucky, we appreciate you making the trip. I know it was a long one. I think Mama Henson will appreciate you stepping out, giving her a shout out, and giving the viewers a little bit of knowledge.
Second shout out to Mama Henson.
Yeah, one day she'll be sitting right here. We'll have to do a Henson.
We're going to have to remind Tim to bring 4 mics, though.
Mike, come on.
He only carries 3 mics on him.
Round Made Media, come on, bro. Shout out to the cameraman. We wouldn't be able to capture this face without it. Y'all two are all right, but I'm out of here. Thank you guys for everything.
Wow.
This is my podcast now.
Nice job, Chuck.
Please like,
Please like, subscribe.
hit that smash button.
Hit that smash button.